Okay. I've got my second shaft or third shaft, whatever it is, my extra shaft mounted. I've got the keyway in place here, and I have a keyway that'll fit here as well for there. And now I'm working on a tensioner. I need something that will push down on this belt right here. I mentioned this tensioner a while back and took those dimensions and spun up that little guy. And so now I can weld this to an arm, a 3/8 plate arm here, and it will be able to go up and down and be tightened into place. And this here is what I came up with. Now everything is keyed in place, and I do need to put nuts on that flange bearing before I forget. But this tensioner here, I ended up cutting a slot with a various pile of drill bits and my high-speed grinder with a carbide burr. And so now it can pivot on that bolt and it can slide up and down here for tension. I have just a little bit of clearance on that pulley, just enough to make it work. And if I spin my secondary clutch, everything's moving to this point. Now I just have to do one final belt. So I have this AutoZone belt that did not work out. It's a 15-425, and that was up here, the one that was slipping real bad. But I ended up using it as a template. You can see right there, I've got a marker right where that key is. And I've got another one I ran, is that it? I think right there. Right where that key is. So what I ended up doing was I just made sure that that rear pulley was snug and on its key, and the tires were on the ground so it couldn't move. And then I wrapped the belt around the outside of this pulley, so that way I make sure that it'll actually go on, and made my mark here, and then brought the other one, the other side of it up, marked it, and then measured. There's a 10-inch difference. So if this is a 15-425, that means I need a 15-325. So I'll probably get a 15-320, 15-325, and 15-330, and take back what doesn't fit. But I did put this in the groove where it should be. I lined up the marks by just making a little loop in the belt, and it's tight enough that I'll be able to put a tensioner here again, and it will work. It's going to get tight without touching like it did with the small pulley. So shy of some cleanup work and that belt right there, there's not really a whole lot that could stop me from maybe just strapping the gas tank right there and standing on the axle and taking a little test cruise today. We do have a winter weather advisory. We're supposed to get between 2 and 4 inches of snow from this morning until tomorrow morning. And it's kind of like freezing raining right now. And I'm hoping that turns to a little bit of snow so those skis can glide. I'm to the point where my power transmission is making it all the way there, which is awesome. And now it's time for one more tensioner. I've got this pulley here, and I believe that if I use this line as maybe making a groove or something, I can spin another piece of steel, a round stock, to fit this, just like I did that one, and we should have grip on the belts. Well, this is what I came up with. Pretty much the same thing, just a different depth. and I'll be able to put it in there about like right there, and it's gonna work. It's gonna work good. Just gotta cut myself a slot right here and I'll be on my way. I just free-handed me a line and drilled some holes along it, and now I'm just gonna clean them up with the die grinder. And there we have it. Good enough for who it's for. Well, it's time for a test run. I marked this shaft and every single pulley and that hub, but since there's only one wheel on, I'm guessing this might spin faster than that side. But either way, I'm hoping for kind of a cool shot. I'll throw some slow-mo on it and all that good stuff. So let's fire it up, see what happens. I'm not that excited about how fast it goes. I still have a lot of slippage, and I believe that it's this rear drive pulley here. It's warm to the touch, it's pretty warm, and none of the other ones really are. And I don't know if that's my belt. It does seem a little bit shiny, so I don't know if it's just a bad material. I don't know. But none of the other pulleys feel warm. This one, I guess this one does too. So it's this belt, I guess, in general that's slipping. Whether it's grabbing here and slipping back here, or grabbing here, slipping up here, or both. It could be alternating based on temperature or whatever. It's pretty tight, but it's not good. It's not good at all. Okay. I threw these tires on. I was getting belt and pulley grip connections. You can see I changed my tensioner slot. I made another one that goes more vertical because I got to a point where my pulley and my idler were hitting. So I had to move it over to move it down. This thing you can probably tune your guitar with that. It's pretty tight, and it's still slipping. So these are the only hot pulleys. They're both pretty warm to the touch. None of the other ones are. I think it's a sad day. I am retiring the Snowmotractor. It's gonna just get pushed away for a little bit because I'm frustrated and I'm kind of running out of time. We do have snow on the ground, but I need to devote some time towards some other shop projects instead of a toy. So I packed it away. It's behind a couple other tractors already. I'm gonna take care of some of the parts and pieces that go with it, like the fender pan. And we're gonna say goodbye to it for a little while. I think chains could do the job, chains and sprockets, but I don't know if it's safe to run a chain that fast. I think I've calculated like 5,800 feet per minute. That's a mile a minute, or 60 miles an hour. In, you know, a number 40 chain right at my feet or legs. You know, safeties can block that when it comes apart, but yeah. Thanks for watching.